I have some very pressing updates to give regarding a lot of the things that I've been sharing. I have here pulled up an article regarding some of the Florida students, the survivors. If you watch my video, I think I released it last night, very recently. And I was speaking about Obama's influence on the youth, and particularly I showed a tweet where he was kind of like riling up the Florida survivors and encouraging them, saying we've been waiting for you and you guys are gonna remake the world. So he's basically the ringleader, is what I'm trying to say, and influencing them, which is all part of a pre-planned situation. They've been planning this for a while. So you'll have to go back and watch my video. I called it Interesting Tidbits, and it has 4 blood moons on it. And you can see the tweet and everything. But I kind of want to follow up on it. I happen to, without searching or trying to find anything, this popped up in my news feed where Florida students are taking on the NRA and set their eyes on the important part that I want to focus on and care about is the midterm elections. And it's just them doing a little protest, which is fine, but the part that stands out for me is they have their eyes set on the midterm elections. So basically they've been protesting and marching and storming down Congress and marching on Washington and protesting or what have you. And they're basically now threatening all of the politicians, saying, if they don't go along and do what they want them to do and pass the laws that they want them to pass regarding gun control, that they're basically gonna create a movement to vote them all out and take them all down out of office. But in particularly, they have their eyes set on midterms if things don't go their way. So, that's one thing. Not necessarily cause for alarm in itself, but if it wasn't for the fact of this being behind it and intertwined with it. So I already shared with you the tweet that he gave to them in my previous video, but let's focus on this midterm elections. You just saw that they have their sights focused on the midterm elections. So where have we heard that before? We've heard it here. Specifically, I shared this in a previous video of mine, and I was warning people about this story, and it was Obama is returning back to the political scene and preparing to take on a bigger political role when in the midterms, inside Obama's midterm campaign plans. Okay? And I warned everyone, when did this come out? January? I warned everyone about a month ago. I was led to this article and led to give this warning. And here we are, it's unfolding. And now we can see that it's intertwining with the whole movement of the youth, which I shared about that, not just in my video last night, but I went into extensive detail in a previous revelation that I gave probably almost a month ago as well, regarding the youth and the Hitler youth and Hitler's rise to power, as well as Obama doing the same exact thing. But you'll have to refer back to my previous resources to get more background on that. As far as just following up, let's go down and kind of rehash some of the main points of this article regarding his plans. He has plans for the midterms to take on a bigger political role and return to the political stage. So let's just read this quick excerpt right quick. Since leaving office, Barack Obama has struggled with how to do what no modern president has before, and which is to take on his successor, which would be Donald Trump. Okay? And these plans that he has in mind are for the midterms. Then we also have his little foot soldiers that also have their eyes set on the midterms as well, for taking action on the government to sway things the way they feel they should be, to, according to Obama, quote unquote, change the world and not just change it, but remake the world into what it should be. And that Obama said that he's been waiting for them to rise up. Refer to my previous video to see that in his own words, not my words. And of course, many of them probably don't even understand what they're even doing or what they're really a part of. They're just on the surface being used as his foot soldiers, like I said, and as his puppets, and he's manipulating them. And I mean, this programming has been going on leading up to this for a while now. It didn't just sprout up overnight. So now I want to kind of switch gears a little bit, and let's also look at this Florida shooting survivor situation regarding the youth, because there's another movement, attached onto this, aside from just gun control, and they're using these kids to try and get all the gun laws and restrictions passed to take the guns. See, so he can sit behind the curtain hidden. Instead of him being out there demanding all these things, he has the children out here doing it for him. That way he can look blameless and innocent. Okay? That way it can look like this is the people's desire, something that the people are demanding. That's what Satan does. He sits behind the shadows and whispers and has other people do his dirty biddings and dirty work. So this is one of the main reasons of how he's keeping his quote-unquote innocent facade, because he manipulates and influences people to do his will for him so he can look innocent and blameless. So anyway, moving on, there's something else very important going on under the scenes that's spiritual, linked to this whole Florida survival shooting thing. And it's creeping up. And as Obama influences them physically to react and carry out his will, there's also that Antichrist spirit within him influencing these people on a spiritual level. Okay? So this is not just an attack on guns. This is actually spiritually undercover behind the scenes, working in the minds and hearts of people, turning it into an attack on God. Okay? So, let's just look at some of these religious leaders are fed up with GOP thoughts and prayers. It's starting off sounding like it kind of makes sense or understandable, but when you look at it for what it is and understand the spirit at work behind it, and what it's, more importantly, what it's leading to, is going to get more and more aggressive, bitter, hate-filled towards God and towards prayer. Okay, that's where it's eventually leading. So these are kind of the beginnings and rumblings of that. But now even we have the false prostitute whore church. These whore leaders, I'm going to call them whores. That's what they are. These so-called faith-based leaders coming out, helping this Antichrist agenda. Let's just look at some of this. Here goes some tweets. Basically, it seems innocent enough saying I don't need thoughts and prayers from politicians to say that. I need them to pass laws. But really, on a deeper level, these people are coming against the idea of prayer and the power of prayer. Basically trying to say that prayer is not enough. And what they're really saying is prayer can only accomplish so much. Okay? They're saying prayer can't do everything. Excuse me. Let's look at some more. This person, I prayed for 20 years but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. So basically, this is also echoing, putting out that idea that, oh, you can pray, it doesn't do nothing. You're praying to a God. It's not going to answer you. It's all about you becoming your own God, solving your own problems, doing your own works, changing everything and making everything better for yourself on your own power, which is 100% diametrically opposite opposed to the gospel, which says that all our power is in Christ. We can do all things through Christ and with Christ. Okay? So this is the Antichrist spirit.